Ready?
Well, welcome everybody to tonight's Warrior Networking show with Dave Roberts. And we are going to be talking about B2B with BeeKonnected. So Dave is going to lead this discussion. And as always, he's got a lot of insights and going to connect the dots for us about BeeKonnected and all the things that it can do and how to use it and all that kind of stuff. Dave has quite a background besides being a consultant and a senior partner with Accenture. He's been in senior management with GM, with EDS, and has been consulting for years with people that are trying to get their business going. And he's a great resource, as he is here in the BeeKonnected community. He's known as an expert in our community, and we're excited to hear what he has to say tonight. So Dave, thanks for helping us tonight.
Well, I'm going to help us, but since you're in B2B or business to business, that's what B2B means, marketing firm, I'm going to have some questions for you. So hopefully you've recovered from your day of doing B2B marketing, and we can have a conversation. I'm going to be asking questions. And so those who are in the audience, or if you're watching this in replay, you can ask yourself the questions, and we're going to talk about strategies, mindset. That's the whole purpose of this, what we call BeeKonnected. What in the world? Where we're going to talk tonight about strategies around B2B. I think we'll talk first of all about the question of how you approach BeeKonnected. Do you approach BeeKonnected, and whether it's in the feed, the connections, the groups that you're part of, do you approach that from a business to customer or a business to business standpoint? So Cheryl, I'm going to ask you that question first of all, and how you show up yourself in BeeKonnected.
Well, I think that the people on BeeKonnected, for the most part, are business people. They're there and ready to help other people with whatever their business is, whatever they have. And so if you're approaching it from that perspective to help other people, to help other business leaders, then it's definitely B2B. I think a lot of people approach, for instance, social media, traditional social media like Facebook and Instagram and stuff is kind of B2C and more of a personal level. And not to say that B2B isn't personal, but I just think that you're approaching it from a position of what do you have to offer to the community to help other people. So that's what I see. That's the way I approach it. And I think that's a good B2B approach to the platform.
Yeah, I find that when you look at business to business, you're still hoping for, obviously, we're all here. We want more business, more growth, more influence, more impact, all those things. But this is a social business platform. So versus a social media platform. In a B2B marketing company like you are, you do use various forms of media, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, digital and print, right?
Anything else? Any other? Do you use events?
Yeah. We use events, trade shows. We use social media. We use email, and just really all the different ways you reach people.
Right. But these are businesses that are trying to develop a relationship with other businesses, right?
Right. Trying to communicate what they have to offer to other businesses that other businesses would be interested in or need.
And your strength, one of the things I see with Triad B2B Marketing, which is the company that you're an executive with, that they focus on strategy, right? They focus on marketing strategy, and it's how to use media. It's not That's not your agency really approach. You're not a media company. You're a company that helps the companies you're serving not only use social media, but also think through their value proposition, what they're doing, how they're communicating. And many times, if I'm got it right, you strive to understand their business as well as they do so you can help them connect to their clients. Is that true or not?
Yes, yes. And also to understand who their clients are and what those people are interested in the platforms that they access. For instance, if our client is an oil and gas company, then their clients are going to be in the oil and gas business, and they're going to be looking at trade magazines and that have to do with oil and gas. And so we look at what the audience, who the audience is, what they're accessing, and then making sure that we're visible on those channels that they access.
Right. That's beautiful. So as you look at that and you think about this in relation to what we're doing here on Be Connected, so we are working with other business owners to understand their business and align with them in a way that we're able to serve them in going after maybe clients or prospects that we are also maybe interested in or have some knowledge. Is that kind of what you see with Be Connected as well? When you meet with people on this platform, are you really trying to sell them, or are you trying to understand what it is that they're trying to accomplish in their efforts to reach their market?
Well, I would say that it would be beneficial to understand them and their markets before you try to sell them. I think that you just don't go out shooting right off the bat. I think you have to understand your audience and understand what they care about, what they're looking for before you can effectively sell them. So that's why the social business platform that Be Connected is so helpful, because you're trying to understand and get to know the other people on the platform. And the more that you can project your value proposition, what it is, what types of clients you're looking for, that type of thing, the more other people on the platform can help you.
The other question I have for you, as you think about the social media, and as you said before, as a digital marketing or a marketing company where you're helping with strategy and helping them be effective at having the impact they want to have from a business standpoint. When you look at that, are you trying to build a relationship with them at try it? I'm back to talking about B2B. Is that what you're about?
Yeah, yeah. We see ourselves as being on staff with our clients, that we're the marketing arm of their company, and we should know their business. We should strive to know it as much as they do, but it's a learning process. But that's the key to a B2B, a good B2B agency, is that you understand the business that your client is in enough that you can speak for them. You know what kinds of things that they need to communicate about their products or services that are, the key points, the key differentiators that they have. So yeah, so you get to know the clients, you build those relationships before you can effectively create a marketing plan for them. We just don't have marketing plans on the shelf that we hand out. So it comes with developing that relationship.
Yes, and that relationship probably doesn't occur as I understand it from also my experience with you and with other companies that are in the marketing space. Uh, is it fair to say that you get leads at times that weren't the ones you were going after because either you had a relationship or provided value with one company, and then somebody either in that company or somebody that saw what you did for that company then wanted to do work with you? Is that a fair thing to say?
Yeah, that's actually where we get most of our clients, is through referral from current customers that are happy with what we've done. And if you make a client successful enough, they're going to move up in either their organization or another organization. So last week we had a meeting with a person who we dealt with when he was with another company. He got promoted to a COO of a new company. So now we have potentially a new client.
So it's fair to say then that the relationship that you invested in, even at a time where you weren't specifically selling a particular product or service, really ultimately circles back, if you're focused on the relationship, to generate business and maybe even more business in the future. Is that fair?
Yeah. Yes, that's fair.
So as we apply that logic to Be Connected and talk about how do we show up on Be Connected, the question I want everybody that's watching this or part of this to answer for themselves is, are you showing up looking for customers, or are you showing up looking for referral partners, businesses that you can align with, that you can serve, and potentially bring value to them? How would you say you approach Be Connected, Cheryl? I hate to keep picking on you, but it's you and me talking right now on screen. We don't have any other coaches here that are live on screen. And if you're in the chat, feel free to post anything, your answers to the questions.
Yeah. So again, I think that myself, when I approach Be Connected, is trying to understand what it is that the people that I encounter are doing, what value they have to offer, why they are unique if they are, and what makes them successful at doing what they're doing. All of those things that help me to better understand if this is somebody that, number one, that has a service or a product that I might be interested in. Number two, if it's somebody that I can add value to, if there's, something that they could use my knowledge base to help them. And then, and then of course, are they somebody who could be a customer for me? But whether they're somebody who would be a B2B customer for me and my agency or not, is kind of secondary. It's just getting to know those people, because it's not just customers that you're going after. You're going after partners. You're going after people who, you might be able to augment what they offer with what you offer. So there are a lot of different angles that you could take, and until you get to really know the person and what they have to offer and what they strive to do, then you can't be as effective yourself with the platform.
Yes, and I think that one of the things that you've reinforced here, that as we're thinking about this, the fundamental question of, is this a business to consumer or a business to customer, whatever, B2C, or a B business to business, I would submit that the proper way to show up on this platform, and I realize a lot of people are just getting on the platform. You may be on social media, you may not even be on social media. Maybe you go to a local networking group, or you're out going to trade shows and stuff, and you're trying to convince people to buy or sell. You're showing up to sell in a B2C, where you're showing up on the platform, whether it's a media platform. And that's where most people, as I think you were saying before, like on even LinkedIn or Facebook or any of the platforms, people show up and show up to sell. And in a B2B relationship, you're really showing up to serve. Now, you want to, as a B2C, you want to serve a need, but B2B is more of a journey of developing a relationship of trust. And that's where I see the most powerful strategy on BeeKonnected is to show up thinking of you're having conversations and developing relationships with other business owners, and not necessarily, even if, let's say, you're in a financial space and somebody else is in a financial space, you say, okay, we're competitors. The answer is no, you're not. You are unique. Every client, would you say, Cheryl, in your, again, business to business marketing experience dealing with manufacturing, oil and gas, a whole sundry of different kinds of companies there, would you say that that whole process, as they're looking to have more market impact, is around not only you building a relationship and understanding them, but also them better understanding who they're going after and getting a relationship with of trust with them?
Yeah, and as in the process of that, many times we find that the customers, we ask questions that maybe they should have thought of before, but really didn't. They just don't maybe have a marketing perspective. And so we also help them to dive into those types of questions and considerations about their customers and their differentiators and what they have to offer that they've not been traditionally accustomed to thinking about. So
Well, I think that's brilliant, because essentially what you just said is you're able to develop a relationship and then get to that relationship trust, to where you're asking questions of them and of them that they should be asking, that maybe they're blind spots. There are things that they don't see, whether they understand marketing or not, right? They need to know. And that's the key with what we're doing here on BeeKonnected. When we look at developing relationships with the people on this platform, the key is understanding, number one, what they're doing, bringing to that relationship it doesn't matter if you're a marketer or you're in whatever, in the healthcare field, it could be anything. You understand them and you approach it as just two people learning about each other, developing a relationship. And that's why I think one of the things is we need to realize this isn't a social media platform. A social media platform is where you show up to sell, you're trying to get your message out, you're really at what I call the top of the funnel. What are some of the things that you think of when you're, let's say, marketing on this platform? I mean, you've had some experience. This is a Live in the Hive show. We did a previous show on actually Monday on live streaming strategies, which is really bridging from what we're doing here on BeeKonnected out to those platforms. We talked a little bit about that being using those tools. What's your perspective, Cheryl? Because you weren't on that show, as far as leveraging the social media platforms as opposed to trying to compete. I don't think we're competing with LinkedIn or any of those things. There's really no comparison in terms of our target here.
What was the question? I'm sorry.
Okay, the question is that what is it that you see as the differentiator between BeeKonnected and our approach to building relationships and the social media platforms, digital marketing things that you can get your message out? What is the difference that you see in that? And there's no right or wrong. I'm asking you.
Well, I mean, this is so much more than what those other platforms offer, of course. But really, I think that for me is some of the things that we talked about that we should be doing on the social business platform to learn what other people need and want and have to offer and build those relationships should be the same as we should approach LinkedIn, for example. I think approaching any of those platforms this way is more effective, but this one I think tends to lend itself more to that because of the ability to share content in different ways, in webinar formats and meeting formats and streaming, the ability to maybe have some premium content to train people on how to do certain things. I think that this platform lends itself to a learning environment and a partnership environment. And I think because of the groups that I see active on this platform, some of that interchange and the ability of us to team up and help each other, I've seen it play out on this platform more so than I have on any of the other platforms that I've been on.
Yeah, I think that the key is with the other platforms, and I hate to be over simplistic, but the other platforms are really designed for really large corporate established companies who have a lot of money that can pay a lot of money to advertise. So once Microsoft bought LinkedIn was quite different. I happen to have been around for a long time, even before LinkedIn was even a thing, even before Facebook was a thing when it came to social media. And what they were and what they are today are quite different, but people approach them that way. I think your point is exactly right, is this whole platform is designed to help entrepreneurs, small business owners, and people who want to develop and ultimately have the scope of impact that they can have and show up with authenticity. What has happened on all the other platforms, because they're media platforms, number one, they don't care if the people are even real on the platforms. But that doesn't mean that, okay, don't use them. No, what you do is you use those platforms as a tool for your business, and you help other businesses use those platforms. You don't have to be in a marketing business. You just have to know how to get your message out and really fill the top of your funnel, so to speak, with people that ultimately can get to what we're doing today, which is a one-to-one conversation or one-to-many conversation where we are adding value. So when you look at the other platforms, you're just spending all of your time, energy, money, and everything else primarily to get noticed. Just like you want somebody to watch your Super Bowl commercial when the Super Bowl comes up and the Kansas City Chiefs win the Super Bowl. You want everybody that watches those commercials to buy your product or to know that you exist or know your product. You're not really developing going through the steps of developing a relationship. On the BeeKonnected platform, because we have the ability to meet one-to-one, we can create a very customized Be virtual or virtual meeting space where we can have tools there like a booking capability to schedule a one-to-one like is on my room that we're looking at right here. You can join the group that I'm managing, Warrior Networking Group, or you can I can share with you how to become an affiliate yourself, but it's still an invitation only. You're inviting people to the platform. So one of the strategies that I consider, if you accept the fact that this is a business to business platform, is when other businesses reach out to you on LinkedIn in particular is pretty common, or on Facebook, and they want to connect. What I say is, if you've got those connections, and is to then move them to this platform where you can provide content, you can introduce them to other people that you trust, and you can continue to build impact in their business. And by doing that, you're becoming known as a high value node, if you will, a network term on the network. You are somebody that everybody knows and everybody needs to connect to. And if you take that approach, I think the sky is really the limit as far as your ability to impact. The last question I'm going to ask you, Cheryl, and then we're going to land the plane for this 30 minutes. And this is more of just your personal experience, not just on BeeKonnected, but whether you've gone to in-person networking groups, you've entertained people reaching out to you for a relationship, if you will, from a business standpoint. When somebody reaches out to you and it's very clear that they're just trying to pitch you, how do you feel about that versus somebody who reaches out to you and you really feel like they are wanting to get to know you? What's your reaction to those two types?
Well, I get a lot of unsolicited emails and LinkedIn requests, and there's kind of a pattern. I think you kind of get used to seeing what it is that they're trying to do. And I'm pretty quick to see through a lot of their techniques, if you will. And so there's just they're trying to use ways of sounding very authentic and very personal and like they know you. And it's just not very effective. However, with this platform, I think that, well, first of all, it's more personal. You know, you see more about the person. You may have, you can watch some of the shows that they've done or been on. You can easily connect with them face to face on the platform. And it's just a different relationship. It's more like people are reaching out to you because they want to get to know you, not that you're just a name and a lead that they got when they did a search on the platform and then they try and act like they know you. There's just, you can't hide on this platform. You know, I think too, you reach out to somebody, it's very clear who you are and who you know and what you've done on the platform. So I think it's less, you know, with the other platforms, I think it's impersonal, and then people try and fake relationships to get ahead. Yeah. I don't know if I was clear on that, but
no, it's very clear. If I can restate what you said, because I was listening very carefully, but what you really said is when people are clearly showing up in an authentic way it's easy to spot when somebody shows up with really good, and you guys are marketing people, right? So you specialize, you have copywriters, you have people who create graphics that are supposed to attract you and those kinds of things. So anybody, in fact, I would say the highest quality prospective people to be in your business to business community will see right through the automations. They will see right through the assistant who's reaching out on your behalf. They will realize that they're not talking to Cheryl. They'll realize they're not talking to the person, the decision maker. They're talking to somebody who's a surrogate, maybe even a bot, maybe even an AI assistant. It could be anything these days. So that's one of the most powerful things I see about both in-person networking, where I meet the person eyeball to eyeball and I know they exist. That gives them a leg up in building a relationship of trust with me. But on this platform, I've been able to build personally that kind of relationship with people all over the world in 123 countries. So I submit that's a very expensive, time consuming, and difficult thing to do on all those platforms, regardless of how many millions of people are on it. And I think that is the biggest takeaway we need to take tonight from this strategy session. So I think we'll land the plane. It's 8:01, and I want to be very judicious with using those who are either watching this in replay or those that are joining us and those that are the warriors that are participating here to help us understand how to more effectively use the BeeKonnected platform. And all I would say is build, if you're gone through the orientations, build out your profile, be authentic, be real, let people know why you're here, let people know kind of how you got to get on shows with other coaches that you can do on this platform, and you can stream out to other platforms. On my case, I have Warrior versus Zombie podcast. I'm more than happy to serve you, and I do that specifically to focus on getting warriors' stories out there and their vision out there, so that the people that really are going to want to be in their sphere of influence and be connections for them and to develop relationships. Be sure and connect with people. Be sure and score that connection. Let everybody know that they're a 5-star. Or if they're a 1-star, let everybody know that too, so that they'll be voted off the island, as I say, by themselves, by the people on the community. So people won't be sucked into some kind of scam or bot. And we don't have a lot of that here. It really doesn't survive on this platform. You see a lot of that on LinkedIn. So Cheryl, any closing comments? Cheryl is an amazing resource. I would encourage you, Cheryl, to post in the chat there for following this, so that people can connect or click on your name and connect with you to get to know you a little better. If you're fortunate enough to be in her BeeKonnected support community, because she's a certified elite BeeKonnected coach, I would encourage you to reach out to her and take advantage of everything she can offer as far as helping you to make this platform work. We'll have other shows every Monday at 1:30 p.m. That would be Central Time. We're in Dallas, Texas. Or at 7:30 p.m. on Wednesdays, Dallas time, where we can kind of support the audience that's in Australia and on that side of the planet. And obviously, if you're here in the United States in any of the time zones, if you want to, you can be here. And for sure, you can watch it on replay. We'll be putting this replay up. And but thank you for being here. Thank you, Cheryl, for serving us today and entertaining my questions and sharing your thoughts and your expertise in this space.
Thank you for asking.
Well, you're brilliant and beautiful as always. So thank you, Cheryl, for being here.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.